Hello friends, today we are going to study about the local self-government. So, I want to tell you, we are studying about the local self-government. You can use these notes as in for your university exams, or you can use it as for your own knowledge. So, under the local self-government, the local self-government is an administrative body for small geographical area such as a city, a town, a country or a state. From this, we understand that the local self-government, it is an administrative body that creates an administration system of a geographical area. We can say it may be a city, it may be a town, it may be a country or it may be a state. Thus, a local self-government can only have control over the specific geographical areas. Now, if you say that a local self-government will have a control over the state of Punjab when it is a local self-government of the state of MP, then over here this is absolutely wrong, because the local self-government itself says that it will have control over their specific geographical areas and cannot pass or enforce law that will affect a wider area. Okay, now the local self-government has been formalized under the Panchayat Raj system since 1992. When was the local self-government started? It was started in 1992 and it was formalized under the Panchayat Raj system. Now, if we are talking about the local self-government, it has mainly three-tier system. Okay, how? Now I'll explain it to you. The Panchayat Raj system, it is a three-tier system with elected bodies at the village level, at the taluk level, that is the mandal, or the district level. Now, how am I going to explain it to you? See, we are going to make a triangle and divide that triangle into three parts. First part you will say it will be the central government, second part you will say it will be the state government, and the third part you will say it will be the local self-government. So, the Indian Constitution or the Indian government is a three-tier system under which elected bodies are at the village level, taluk level and the district level. Now, under the local self-government, there must be a Gram Panchayat for a group of villages. How? Now see, here you can see there is a chart made. Local self-government. Zilla Parishad comes at the top, Block Panchayat after that, Village Panchayat just after that, and then is the Gram Sabha. All the adult members of the village are known as Gram Sabha. Now, we are going to come over the parts of the local self-government. Zilla Parishad. Zilla Parishad itself explained it to you from the name Zilla. Zilla is what? It is a district. At the district level, block Panchayat is the block level. Okay. Village Panchayat is at the village or the group of villages, and Gram Sabha, I already told you, all the adult members of the village are known as Gram Sabha. Now, this Gram Sabha has the power to form the village panchayat. So, you can also say that this village panchayat is formed by the Gram Sabha. Okay. Now, block panchayat is also known as Panchayat Samiti. Next, we are going to study about the local government is a government at the village level, at the district level, that is the rural and the urban areas. Now, if we are talking about the local self-government, it is very important to study the 73rd and the 74th Amendment, 1993, because it was enforced in 1993. Now, Article 40 of the Indian Constitution directs the state government to establish a panchayat to serve as an institute of local self-government. Here it is very important to understand that under the directive principle of Indian Constitution, there is a provision that under the Article 40 of the Indian Constitution, it directs the state government. Note this word, state government. The Indian Constitution directs the state government to establish panchayats to serve as an institute of local self-government. Now, the next is, you need to know what is the 73rd and 74th Amendment. Since many things were not formulating properly under the Panchayat Raj system, therefore in 1992 the 73rd and the 74th Amendments was formulated. The 74th Amendment provision related to urban local government, also known as Nagar Palikas. Okay, and the 73rd Amendment is related to the Panchayat Raj. Now, local government. Now, explaining the local government, you can also make a pie chart distributing the local self-government into two parts. That is, first one is the municipalities, second one is the panchayats. Now, municipality, 74th Amendment, and panchayats is the 73rd Amendment. Now, under the municipalities, it has been divided into three parts. Why is it divided into three parts? So that the workload can be easy, and the formulation of you can say the parts are always divided so that each person gets the equal rights, and the work of central government and the state governments get divided so that good formation is seen. Now, so it is divided into three parts: municipal corporation, municipal council, and Nagar Panchayat. Now, talking about the Panchayat 73rd Amendment, it has been divided into three parts: district Panchayat, the intermediate Panchayat, and the village Panchayat. Now, we are going to study about the importance of the local self-government. Why is the local self-government very important? Number one, it has a successful government. How it is a successful government? Because here the decentralization of power gets distributed. The powers under this local self-government get distributed under various paths. Now, people can obtain their democratic right. Yes, due to the local self-government, everyone has a right for democratic right. Due to local self-government, power get properly distributed. Everyone gets scope to develop his or her personality. Number fourth, best center for imparting thoughts and education. Number fifth, it reduces the heavy responsibility of the central and the state. Number sixth, since member of local self-government are local people, they realize the gravity of the problem. Here, I want to explain it to you, the sixth point that is very important. Since member of the local self-government are the local people who are among us only. So they realize the gravity of the problem. They know what's the problem in the society occurs. Now, we are going to study about the nature and characteristics of the local self-government. Local areas. Number one is local areas. Local government has well-defined area allotted by state government. Second, local authorities. Members are from among these people, so they realize the gravity of the problem. Local finance, order to perform functions. How is the local self-government perform its own function? So it performs its own functions from the local finances or the taxes that it takes from the society. Local civil amenities. For the people benefit, the government provides certain amenities for healthy living. Local participation. Here the participation means the participation of each and every member who is a member of the society participates in the day-to-day work of the local self-government. And development. Development itself says when the environment will have everything, the people will be more developed. So here the development under the local self-government is also a major and a very important part. History of panchayats. Now the history of the Panchayati Raj system has been divided into three parts: Rig Vedas, British times. Third is post-independence. Now, under the history, there are three aspects: Rig Vedas time, British time, and the post-independence time. After that, we are going to study about the Balwant Rai Committee. The committees which were formed. Number one, Balwant Rai Committee, Ashok Mehta Committee, and third will be the L.M. Singhvi Committee. So, history of Panchayat, Rig Veda. Time suggests that Sabhas existed. Okay. So, these bodies become Panchayat. These Panchayats were the grassroots governance and worked on both executive and judicial power. Now, what happened in the Rig Veda time? The land was distributed by them, and that was the government as a share. Now, they used to distribute the lands to the people, and that whatever the revenue collected from that was given to the government as a share. So, we can see that at the Rig Veda time, also the sabhas existed. Now, during the British time, look over here about the British time. Panchayats were no priority to British rule. Panchayats did not give any priority to the British rule. They were interested in creating local bodies which could help them in trading interest by collecting taxes. As we all know what the Britishers did in India, the Panchayats were destroyed by East India Company. So at that time, the Panchayat system was destroyed by the East India Company when it was granted the office of the